For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Hear silence, then pure confusion. When real youth gets the real thing, where truth from inside does rise within. The most monitored show on radio. We're fearless, we're tough, we're ready to go. Up spin, down spin, front spin, back spin. Anyhow you twist it. New spin, dealing true spin. Up spin, down spin, front spin. No matter how you turn
very much into name calling these days. So the midget, the leprechaun, I'm here on the most monitored talk show in the world. It's on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Don't forget, please like the video, share, subscribe to the NewsSpin YouTube channel, and click the NewsSpin notification bell, and that is to help the channel grow. We got up until about 5, maybe 10 minutes after 2 o'clock, depending on my producer's mood. All right, but we'll take your calls. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. So, a big announcement was made last evening. Not by the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip J. but by another individual. Because those people who are serving in any Prime Minister's cabinet serves at the pleasure of the Prime Minister. Whether it was Sir John Compton, Dr. Kenny Anthony, Stevenson King, Alan Chasney, etc. So they would determine whether they continue to retain your services or not. And at some point in time, if they deem it appropriate to do so, they would say, I no longer need your services. And when government ministers go on vacation, a press release would be issued by the relevant authorities, relevant PR people from the relevant ministry, the office of the Prime Minister, indicating that a particular minister is on vacation for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for a month, etc. So you can't take it as official information. A talk show host who is aligned to the governing party, revealing to you that a government minister has informed the Prime Minister that he's taking a break. As our grandmothers and grandfathers would say, pas comme ça, y qu'a fait. That's not how it is done. That's not how an announcement is being made to the members of the board of directors of St. Lucia. You, all of us. Through official channels, we receive such information. And that's the only way you can give credence to it. We got to accept it as the truth. So let's treat it as hearsay. This pronouncement that was made last evening by Albert Fridges, who is sitting in for the substantive host of the program, Can I Help You? The host is Richard Frederick. So Albert Fridges is the sidekick. The one who's there to say, yes, you're correct, that's true, etc. But now he's the main host. Do we have that clip, Mr. Producer? In a couple seconds, we'll have that clip. And somebody has taken issue with the manner in which that announcement was made last evening. You'll be hearing from that individual. There's another individual who's taken issue with some of you who are celebrating what has happened to Tina Charles. Remember this fire? Earlier this week? Remember how Tina, I'm sure, would have definitely caused you as well to feel her pain. Do we have that clip, Mr. Producer? Tina, would have caused many people to break down. Tina Charles this week crying because the location where she operated from, the building located on the corner of Chaussee Road and Miko Street was on fire. She has a lot of costumes there, etc., and equipment. Let me remind you of this.
So, what, Gassa? What, Gassa?
They know you're not there today.
That's all my costumes inside there, Gassa. All my fucking costumes inside there for Labrican. What, Gassa? What, Gassa? What, Gassa? Where's your? I said, what? Yo! Let's get out. Why, Gassa?
Young lady is in pain. She's crying, she's bawling. But somehow somebody can celebrate this. Because we don't agree. We're not in agreement with some of the things that she's saying as a citizen of St. Lucia. You don't agree, ignore her, maybe you want to criticize her. But at this particular juncture, you don't celebrate that. You don't. So somebody has taken issue with this. And that individual, normally on Facebook as well, Sexy KK. Let's watch and listen.
You're laughing at Tina Charles, right? Sally do a size up there. They have one that make a meme with her crying in the video. They take it and they make a meme. That says more about you than it will ever say about her. You want to laugh at somebody? You feel you're laughing at somebody's sorrow? You're laughing at somebody's pain and it's okay? God don't like ugly. Sally do a size up there. You're too dirty. How can you laugh at a human pain? Huh? How? Y'all feel it's okay? It's not okay. The woman loses thousands of dollars. The woman, and it's not about the money. The woman loses something she worked hard for. And you're laughing at her pain. That's something for you to laugh at. But don't worry. Tina, don't worry, my girl. You will pull through. Stay focused.
So the politicians have succeeded in dividing the people of St. Lucia. And you politicians, take a bow. Particularly government politicians. You have succeeded in dividing the people. But I think this will only remain for a while. Everything has its season. Revel in your celebration. Revel in your power that you're not using for the benefit of the people, but it's primarily for your benefit. That's why you continue to want to remain in office, remain in power. You don't want to give up. You don't sympathize with the people when you have to. Instead of addressing the nation on critical issues, you have your SLP public meeting coming up next week. This has got to rob the people at some point in St. Lucia. It has to rub them the wrong way. Eventually, they will see through this. That's inevitable. But let's go back. So this announcement was made by the sidekick of the program, Can I Help You? Albert Fridges. What you should have heard, if it is true. Sivwe, what you should have heard from your Prime Minister, from my Prime Minister, you heard it from Albert Fridges. And we have to assume there is some truth to it. Because with so many PR people in the office of the Prime Minister, there has not been a denial. No one has come to deny this and say it is not true and provide us with, quote unquote, the correct information. So here is Albert Fridges.
I must tell you that Richard Frederick, right? Don't mind all the rumors you're hearing. Richard Frederick told the Prime Minister, given all what's going on and so on, he feels overwhelmed. He needs a little rest. And Richard has taken a few weeks off. The Prime Minister said, fine, take your time off. So Richard has taken time off. I see the little gnome from down Poleon talking all kind of foolishness. Richard is just on vacation, eh, people? Okay? I must tell you that Richard Frederick, right? Don't mind all the rumors you're hearing. Richard Frederick told the Prime Minister, given all what's going on and so on, he feels overwhelmed. He needs a little rest. And Richard has taken a few weeks off. The Prime Minister said, fine, take your time off. So Richard has taken time off. I see the little gnome from down Poleon talking all kind of foolishness. Richard is just on vacation, eh, people? Okay?
Information coming from Albert Fridges last evening. Some does being alerted. After that, hours later, we have a press release coming from the office of the Prime Minister. Bagay ka fait de Saint-Lucie, l'envers d'ouvert, whatever they say. What's it, Mr. Producer? Okay, devant derrière. In reverse. That's how it's happening in our St. Lucia of now. But the St. Lucia of yore, the St. Lucia of John Compton, the St. Lucia of Kenny Anthony, Stevenson King. What would have happened? They have received a press release, press statement on news, on television, social media. So let me go through this press release from the office of the Prime Minister, and this is dated the 24th of July. Albert Fridges' statement was made, or his revelation was made, on the 23rd. It reads, Minister Richard Frederick proceeds on annual vacation leave. Continues, the office of the Prime Minister wishes to advise the public that the Honorable Richard Frederick, Minister for Housing, Local Government and Urban Development, has proceeded on annual vacation leave until August the 27th, 2026. During Minister Frederick's absence, the Honorable Sean Edward, Minister for Infrastructure, Port Services and Energy, has been assigned responsibility for the portfolios of housing and urban renewal. Honorable Stevenson King, Senior Minister and Minister for Public Service, Transport, Information and Utilities Regulation, has been assigned responsibility for local government. This temporary assignment is in keeping with the government's established practice of ensuring continuity in the administration of ministerial responsibilities whenever ministers proceed on annual vacation leave. The government thanks the public for its understanding and remains committed to the uninterrupted delivery of services throughout this period. And this coincides with Minister Richard Frederick, I think last week or week before, saying that he was tired, he was jaded, he needed a break. And Mr. Producer, maybe we could try and get that clip of Mr. Frederick making that statement. I think it was week before last on his program, informing his audience that he was tired and therefore he needed a break. And at that time, it would have taken a break from his talk show. Did not give any indication that he was taking a break from his ministerial responsibilities. And that's a statement that he made.
I say I feel in mash up, I need a little break. So I'll let Albert do his thing for a bit. And I will be in the background. I just did. You know when you feel you need a break, you feel overwhelmed? That's how I feel right now. So I do believe Albert will do a good job, and he needs me. I'm always a phone call away. I can assist. I will be around, but, you know, to deliver a good quality show, I could tell you it takes the entire day. The entire day. And so I want to pass on that burden of responsibility on my partner for a while. I just want to be a little eased off a bit and to take a break.
So it's now official, according to a press release from the office of the Prime Minister. Minister Richard Frederick proceeds on vacation until the 27th of August. Calvin Edward, better known as Appa, earlier today on one of his lives, did address this statement that was made by Albert Fridges last evening, announcing that Minister Richard Frederick had proceeded on vacation. And he took issue with it, rightly so, at the time. Here is Calvin Edward, better known as Appa.
30th of mois ça là, finissement mois ça, si JP ou les market step là. Ou pour dire technicien qui a fait de Fedrix, ou à bailler date qui toque les market step là pour dire qui a fait Fedrix, et Fedrix fire, et Fedrix résigné, hein? Qui ça a fait depuis Fedrix? Et toi né date les market step là? C'est les market step là quand vient dire technicien, ça fait technicien, hein? Côté Kai concide. Hein? Le passage journée là et fait un technicien ça a fait de Fedrix, si y a les résignations, si vous fire et qui ça a fait là?
Calvin Edward. But I prefer Appa. Let's take your calls right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Once again, 716-2026. And of course, I'll be going through some of your WhatsApp messages. And I'll try this if I could go through some of your comments in the chat rooms, because Janti is not available today. All right, let's see there what you're saying via WhatsApp. Tim, you know what's an egomaniac? I say no more. You cannot have all the riches, businesses, money, educated, successful, and still in politics. All your people are grown and educated, and you're here destroying your image. You must have another motive we know not of. Somebody says this vacation is a tactic to make us forget. We have our first call online via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Fouet.
Oui, bon après-midi, Lucifer. Ça qu'a fait?
Hello, Jante.
Jante is off. She's taken some time off from the program. She's a little tired, so she'll be back sometime next week.
And jaded.
Yeah, and jaded. But
so she's leaving you to hold down the fort.
Right. The midget and the leprechaun. You know, only the midget and the leprechaun is not tired, you know. He's not jaded. I don't understand what kind of energy it has.
I know you're a special person, Tim. That's why.
Very special. What's on your mind, sir?
But if you
what?
They should measure you from the sky down, Tim. You'll be very tall.
No. I prefer to be measured a different way. Anyway, sir.
Oi, Joe.
Wow. Let's go.
Anyways,
yeah.
I'm not sure you remember. I used the quotation from American physicist Steven Weinberg, Tim. But I'm going to make some amendments to this quotation this afternoon. So quotation goes, in a good and ordinary universe, Tim, the good will do the best they can, and the bad will do the worst they can. And he finishes it off by saying that, but it takes religion to make good people do bad things. But then I'm going to add, Tim, it also takes politics, Tim, to make good people say and do terrible things as well, my friend. Because I watched a video of Madam Sarah Flood protesting for women's rights in our country. And she was in Soufre, and someone shot a video, and the stuff coming out of the mouths of the women.
Yeah.
The same women she's fighting for, you know, Tim. But that goes to show you what the type of people we are dealing with, Tim. Maggot-minded, fanatical crew, Tim, of stupid people. Okay? She's fighting for your rights, you know. Rights you ordinarily would not go out there and fight for yourself. And she's taking up the mantle and putting it on her back. You can show soft support by online and whatever, if you don't want to be exposed and so on and so forth, because you don't want to risk losing your job or friendship and family. I understand the risks, right? But to openly criticize her and tell her, oh, why don't you go by Richard office, go castrate and do your thing. That's why people just call us Jean Horten, Neg Maon, people from the countryside. The other thing I want to say about, I listen to you read a message. Normally, I don't do that, go around criticizing people's. But some of our St. Lucian people, we only have critiques to offer. We don't have anything to offer other than criticizing. Someone sent you a message that you were reading out loud, and the message said something about placards are archaic. Top and dying about placards are archaic. This is a model that has worked for civil rights and union rights, workers' rights, Tim. This is a model that is over 100 years old. You're going to turn around a model that has worked so well, you're going to turn around and say, oh, it's archaic. So, okay, so if it's archaic, my friend, what do you propose? Or you just want to criticize it because you have a mouth? Do you have a better solution? No, you don't. So shut up. Okay? Shut up. Lord quoted. If you all don't have anything to offer, and you can say the same to me. If you don't have, I offer criticism, I offer solutions then. If you don't have anything to offer, all you could do is criticize, shut up. Okay? Make solutions too. It could be the government or whoever. Don't just stand there and just make critiques, because it absolves you of any kind of responsibility, Tim. You're just allowed to just stand there and open your mouth and talk shit. And no one can hold you accountable. So you're just talking. Lord quoted him. What month in July 2026 they open in St. Louis?
What month in July? Or what? Yeah. What month in 2026?
Or what year in July?
What year?
Yeah, or what July in which year?
Well,
I don't know how to frame the question.
It was supposed to be July of this year. Supposed to be July of this year.
Okay, so then if it's not going to be July of this year, it's going to be 2027 and beyond then.
Yeah, maybe.
Next July.
Maybe.
Because it definitely won't be August or September. And I heard you say something about the fire at the hospital. Has the government come out and said, hey, X, Y, and Z about the fire? Has it been confirmed?
They have denied it. I think they have denied it.
Oh, it was shut down?
No, they have denied that there was ever a fire at the St.
The rumor was shut down. Yes. Well, that's good. I wouldn't want there to be a fire anyways, my friend.
But anyways, by the way, caller, we still have 8 days left in July. We still have 8 days left.
We have 8 days?
Yes, in July. We are July.
I know how Labour Party operates. If that hospital was going to open in July, Tim, you take half of l'argent pour ça advertise. Okay? You take half plaster to pato. C'est supporter you at the honey. Eh! It the morning show. Book the honey New York Cardi. This that the Tim must have Sakarana. Person Banbudi must have Karana. And finally, Tim, I used to think that SLP was good at PR. SLP don't understand PR. PR is okay, all right.
I think of late they have lost that kind of zeal in terms of the good PR that they were known for. They have lost that reputation. The reputation, they have lost it.
Because the mandate, they have such a huge mandate, Tim. They don't find the need to do the groundwork anymore.
It's getting them very comfortable and complacent.
It's like a man that get a good woman and then he forget.
Because I cannot understand why. Because reading what's on the ground, no, I don't understand why the SLP would want to have a public meeting next week. I don't understand why. It does not make sense.
Tim, you know why? They're just testing the base team to see how strong they still are. Don't be surprised if they try and call a rush election 2-3 years into their term. It's all politics and strategy. They don't really care about the governance of the country. If these people cared about the governance of the country, the minister here in question, Mr. Frederick, I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I heard Frederick say, oh, AI cap with fair. AI cap with fair. What? So AI it is August.
But you know what? But you know what Tina Charles says AI stands for?
I don't know.
Actual information.
Oh, actual information. Big up yourself, Tina, for that one there. I go steal that one there.
Actual information. Yes, I.
And then for the minister to do that, Tim, I couldn't be a politician because in real life, I'm not a perfect human being. You understand what I mean? I make mistakes. We all do. So if there's nothing untoward with the minister, step down. If everything is above board, you will get compensation. And you know what he's going to do for him, Tim? That's why I know they don't understand PR, Tim. He's going to do to him what Healy has been claiming, vindication, Tim. And he's going to improve his image in the eyes of the UWP and SLP. And he has to remember who tarnished his reputation, He has to remember who has people calling him drug lord, drug baron, drug dealer, and so on and so forth. And finally, Tim, I'm going to offer a piece of advice. Even though I'm a Flabo supporter, Richard Frederick and them man pretend to be smart, but Richard Frederick and them man not that smart. Richard Frederick and Stevenson King, if they form a party, they are the majority in the parliament.
Yeah.
But them two coons cannot use their brain and understand that they claim to be independents and it was their job to hold the government and the opposition or the government accountable. They didn't know Alan Shasting was going to be the lone opposition. Had they formed a party, the two of them, they would have been opposition. Richard Frederick could have done his true calling, Tim, instead of pandering and kissing ass. You see what he did to Shasting, the exposure and holding the government accountable. He could have done that by forming a party, him and King, and we would have had 3 parties in the parliament. We would have 3 rats watching the cheese. Even though I subscribe to the Flabo ideology, accountability levels would have gone up, Tim. So say Bugsa Pani country you know who had really had the country at heart? And we laughed at him and mocked him. And not until yesterday it dawned on me. The Golden Dragon, Tim. Okay? To bring a third party, to put pressure on these 2 guys we have in there to do better. You understand what I mean, Tim?
Yeah. And Mr. Producer, let's try to get a clip of Mr. Ben Nathaniel. God bless his soul. Passed away, I think, last year? Yeah, last year.
If there's a heaven, Mr. Nathaniel deserves to be there.
Yeah.
And I apologize for laughing at him and mocking him, along with yourself too. I think you should apologize too.
I'll join you in doing that.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, we should, because he was ahead of his time. Okay?
Okay.
But anyways,
yeah,
I shall leave you guys with that today. Big up Senior Rigobert. Anyway, sit down, stand up, or lay down in the world. Send the share. I love you guys more than money and anything else life has to offer in terms of vanity. Timothy, take care of yourself.
Thank you.
We shall converse again, brother.
Thank you so much. Here is the deceased Ben Nathaniel.
And we'll have elections every 4 years, the second Tuesday in November, every 4 years. So it will be a fixed date. No thing. How can an election be fair when one man knows the date? That's not a fair election. And we'll have elections every 4 years, the second Tuesday in November, every 4 years. So it will be a fixed date. No thing. How can an election be fair when one man knows the date? That's not a fair election.
Ben Nathaniel, deceased. Let's take a call now. Nancy Charles is on the line. Good afternoon to you, ma'am. You are on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Yes, good afternoon to you, Nancy Charles.
How are you, Tim?
I am okay. How about you?
I am doing well. It's been a while. I've just been observing and listening. But Tim, I think today, after listening for the last couple of weeks, I thought it was very important for me to speak today. Because we have gotten to the point in St. Lucia, and I listened to you a while ago saying, I didn't see the statement, but you said that the government also shut down the rumors about St. Jude's and the fire. And I thought it was very important for me to add my voice, because whenever I speak truth and I speak facts. And I am stating facts today. My name is Nancy Charles. Those people that say it is not facts, try and take me to court. You can sue me. I will not mention names so that you can be sued on your program, but I will give certain facts, and I am taking full responsibility for it, because we have to stop this thing in St. Lucia, team, where people are afraid to speak and people stay silent when they know the truth, because everybody is afraid of losing their job, afraid of people pointing them out, afraid of their family, and all the type of fears that have been instilled in St. Lucians. All right? And I can stand up for my own, because you remember last year it was, or year before, Tim, when Ernest Hill stood in Parliament and called out my name, Nancy Charles, and I said thing about him on my talk show, and he's going to take me to court. I want the public to know that he, Ernest Hill, had to write back the court. I've not said anything. I've just stayed silent, but I cannot stay anymore. He had to write back the court, and he had to pull back the charges. And today, I don't know if he has paid it yet, but my lawyers has asked for him to pay charges for trying and sue me in the court for things I said that were factual. Okay? So, while St. Lucian say, hey, honestly, Nancy Lo, just move, lay yourself, that he honestly let any pull back case la, ek avocat mwen, kay fay pay, pa mwen kay pay, liki kay pay. That is what happens when you stand on facts, team, and when you speak the truth. So let's go. A press release was issued by St. Jude's Hospital. I have to assume you saw it. Did you read it, Tim, or you spoke about it?
About the CEO?
Yes.
Yes, I have read it.
Did you see a signature on the press release?
No, I didn't.
Did you see who the press release came from at St. Jude's?
No, ma'am.
Was there anybody who took ownership of that press release, except that you saw a press release on a St. Jude's letterhead?
No one did.
Exactly. So these are the semantics that is going on in St. Lucia. You see the semantics? These are the semantics. And they were very careful in how they crafted it. You understand? That the CEO has gone on leave since May. Did they say when she's coming back from leave?
I'm trying to see if I can get the release, but I don't think it does.
No, it doesn't say. I know it doesn't say when she's coming back on leave. So I can certainly say to you for a fact that something, as you said, is duvande, that has gone duvande at St. Jude's. They are trying to keep it quiet. And that is why nobody has. Why is it that the board of directors did not take ownership of this press release and say the board of directors wishes to say this, that, and the other? Do you know who some of the members are? You have a lawyer there. You have high people who know, and they are very technical on the board of St. Jude's. So I can say to you for a fact, something duvande has transpired at St. Jude's. For a fact, there is a preferred contractor that has been given millions of dollars in contracts that is not worth that. Every little thing, that is the preferred contractor. And it is alleged that there is an undue relationship between the contractor and certain people at St. Jude's who are in high office. Hence the reason that there is the allegation that the CEO has been sent on administrative leave, and there is something. So they don't want to call it an investigation. I'll not say it's an investigation, team. But something is happening at St. Jude's. The St. Jude's people know, I know, you know, and we know. But what they do, they send out a very cleverly crafted statement saying that no such thing has happened. And it's the same thing with the fire. Timothy, I got the call the Thursday night of the fire. I got the call. And they will say it's not a fire. It wasn't a huge fire, Timothy. It was an electrical fire, where one of the things that we as the United Workers' Party people had spoken about when we did the facts finding and what Mr. Fontenot had found was that you had electrical wires running close to water. And that is what transpired. You had water seeping into the electrical unit of the thing. It sparked and it caused a fire. Whilst you were on air talking about it because people sent you messages, I never sent you a message. Did I send you a message, Tim?
No, you didn't, ma'am. No.
Did I say anything to you about the fire, Tim?
No.
I never said anything. But whilst you were talking about it on air, I can certainly say to you that there were about 3 or 4 loose-select vehicles because I passed there deliberately. There's a way, it's on my way to my home. I passed there deliberately so that I could verify with my own 2 eyes that there were about 3 or 4 loose-select vehicles, employees there, trying their best to see if they could fix what was happening. And I dare my good friend, Silas Wilson, I am calling his name, I dare my good friend Silas Wilson to say that's not true. Because he knew about it. And my information that is, he never even told the authorities what was happening until Lucidec had to be called in, etc., etc. And you know how the drama goes, etc. And so somebody is trying to say to you that there was no fire, when I can tell you for a fact that there was an electrical fire. And the hospital, quote unquote, was running on generator for a few hours because there was no electricity there. That is what is happening in this country. And I said to myself, Lord have mercy. Tim, what if this hospital was up and running and this thing happened and you have sick people? Timothy. Not people like you and I, by the grace of God, we don't know what happens tomorrow, who are at least for today, we are healthy. Sick people that you want to push and transition in this hospital, and you still have issues because the electricals are not proper, the water is not proper, you have issues. And I am saying today, I am calling on the authorities, Timothy. I am calling on my good friend, Mr. Ditney Downs, who's the Chief Fire Officer. You have put your name and given a pass to this thing when you know in your heart of hearts that this thing is not ready, that there are too many issues at St. Jude's with reference to fire and electrical and emergency. But because we are supporting the party, because we want to push for this thing to happen, nobody is saying anything. Timothy, that hospital cannot open, not in July, like my friend said. I don't know which July of which year or which July of which month, but I'm telling you that the hospital cannot open. The staff are bawling. They are pushing for the dialysis unit. Are you aware that the staff is refusing to use my good friend Reno? Reno is my good friend. Reno comes down to Grace and by my home. Grace people know that. He stopped by my home. So I have no animosity towards him or anybody. But I am speaking facts. They do not want to use the dialysis machines that have been procured by Reno because it is not up to the standard that they have been used to. And that is a big issue happening at St. Jude's right now as we speak. Timothy, I know all the things you know. Moi di maka pale. You see what's happening with Sarah now? Sarah, my good friend, is trying, like the gentleman say. Sarah is advocating for people like me. Women like me and women like some of them. And you know what they are doing because of party and because of everything? They are cursing them and saying all kinds of nastiness. Timothy, when will we stop in this country? When will we stop as women? When will we stop and realize that when other women are fighting for the rights of women, we should not care about party, about politics, about color, but realize that this is something that affects every single one of us. We know the stories, Tim, of women who go to people in authority seeking for help. And when you tell them, I need help for my children and for my whatever it is, you assistance you need, they tell you, pass it. We don't know that, Tim. That's a new thing in St. Lucia. That's not a new thing in St. Lucia, where men who are in authority take advantage of women who come to them for assistance and tell them to pass it. And in this case, what we have is an allegation. I don't know in which country, Timothy, that would ever happen, that there is an allegation of a government minister where some woman has gone to for assistance, and the allegation is that he didn't use his money, you know, Tim. In St. Lucia, A grown woman can make a conscious decision and say, some man say, I will give you the assistance, but you must pass it because I'm using my money. And she can choose to and say, I need the help and I will pass it because the man is using his money. But in this case, you have an allegation that it is government money that has been used to say pass it. That is the allegation. So when people say, I know what the man do, what y'all saying, y'all behind the man do like that, this is the allegation that is being made against the minister. That somebody who's requiring assistance, some woman who's requiring assistance, have been told to pass it, but not for their own money from their own pocket, but using government funds. And the other allegation is that there is some person who's involved who's allegedly a minor. So after you do pass it, team, you're the issue pass it. Which woman in St. Lucia would like that? Which woman in St. Lucia that will tolerate that? Which woman that would consciously and willingly do something like that? Except that you are desperate. And when we have women like Sarah and Laura and other women and other people like Tina and other people who are crying out about these things, you see what we do as women to our own women? Team, I am saying to St. Lucians, this has nothing to do with politics. I believe, as I've said before, St. Lucians made a conscious decision, whether they were coerced by money and stuff and things and other things, but they were conscious of the decision they were making. They voted legally. I don't know that anything illegal was done. They voted legally for the St. Lucia Labour Party. That is the government of St. Lucia. However, I want them to understand that what is happening in this country, where the government of St. Lucia is using state resources to silence the people of St. Lucia, to intimidate the people of St. Lucia, to victimize the people of St. Lucia. These same people that voted for them, if you say anything, Tim, you might lose your job, your child, your mother, you might lose the benefit. Oh, back to school is on the air. Everybody's lining up at minister's office for support, for books, for bag, for shoes. No, and that is eroding our democracy. That's not a democracy, Tim. You are buying the silence of people and you are preventing them from exercising their democratic right, which is to speak out against things that they think is wrong in this country. And we are lying to the people. We're saying it didn't happen. That's not true. When everybody knows for a fact these things happen. Tim, I hope St. Lucians will realize what we are doing to our country. For fear, for greed, for stuff, for things, for misplaced priorities, whatever it is, I hope we realize in the end, one day, that it will not be worth it. Thank you very much, Timothy. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. You too, ma'am. Just heard there from Nancy Charles, a supporter and member of the opposition UWP. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, The Briefcase. Well, there's a closure taking place. Please be informed that The Briefcase will be closed from Tuesday the 28th of July 2026 until the 12th of August 2026. And The Briefcase says that they will be reopening on Thursday, August the 13th, 2026, and they apologize for any inconvenience that this closure may cause. I'd like to thank you for your understanding. Still to come, more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages, and of course, the discussion right here on the most monitored talk show in the world.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
you looking for premium quality, frozen fresh at an unbeatable price? Visit Kenty's today, your one-stop shop for wholesale and retail liquor and frozen foods. Now fully stocked with chicken wings, chicken legs, chicken necks, pigtails, turkey wings, and so much more. Visit Kenty's on Chaussee Road today or give them a call at 461-3446. Kenty's, frozen fresh, great prices, and service you can trust.
Prepare for the hurricane season by ensuring trees and other objects on your property won't get tangled in overhead wires. Be careful. Ensure ladders and tools don't come within 10 feet of power lines. If a tree is near electrical lines, don't try to trim it yourself. Contact Lucelect at 452-2165 or 454-6617. Be smart, stay safe.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Epic Events and Events St. Lucia presents St. Lucia Mercury Fest Weekend, August 14th to 16th. A unique crossover event linking the English and French Caribbean. Saturday, Mercury Fest at Pigeon Island Beach featuring Meryl, Fanny J, DJ MJ, and top regional DJs. Sunday, the Boca Run along St. Lucia's spectacular West Coast for a chance to win 5,000 euros. Tickets available at 4circlestickets.com, Bezook.com, The Cell, and 6 Car Rental in the Rodney Bay Marina. Follow us on social media. St. Lucia Mercury Fest Weekend, supported by St. Lucia Tourism Authority.
The very popular Catch a Day is back, and the buzz is going around like a busy bee. And it makes sense because customers are guaranteed 15% off on all Kasha machines. People have been itching to hear this news, and it's finally here. The dates, August 28th and 29th, 2026. The place is Europa Hardware in Massad. The event is Catch a Day for the fathers, men and ladies too. Everyone wants to pay less and get more. This is your time. Vacuum cleaners, pressure washers, steam cleaners, upholstery cleaners, carpet cleaners, floor scrubbers, and more. Don't say if I knew. Now you know. 452-0763 Europa.
Clocked out. Now is the time to head up. Join us at the Bellevue Hotel Rooftop Lounge for the Rooftop After Work Lime, happening every last Thursday from June through November. We kick things off Thursday, June 25th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come through for sunset views, team cocktails, good music, great people, and the kind of lime that makes you forget about that work email. Bring your crew, meet somebody new, and enjoy a different seasonal vibe every month. Entry is US $40 per person. Space is limited, so don't get left downstairs. Call 456-1800 to reserve your spot. The Rooftop After Work Lime at Bellevue Hotel. Your new favorite way to end the month.
Every day, the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurances accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
Fast Pay, a new and easy way to pay. Fast Pay, Fast Pay.
You asked
different, and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
An supposé, ça c'est dernier kwas gloa. Un temps set lisi, tant ka wem ka vini pli long, ek pli wed, ek sous dlo nou ka cheche. Ek la plia ka tobe pli fort, ek pli te wib. Ça ka dommage kay nou, ek système glo nou. Mais nous sa changer ça. Nous sa conserver de l'eau et protéger sous de l'eau nous. Chaque petit démarche nous point, ça wede. Wasko ka travaille ensemble et puis agent pour manager sous de l'eau et ka mettre pour siwe de l'eau en temps qui ka veni. Mais nous besoin si pauvre. Ensemble, nous sa protéger de l'eau nous, santé nous et ka siwe de l'eau pour l'autre génération. Un petit pas, ça mène gros changement. Nous protéger de l'eau nous et la vie nous pour tant qui ka vini. Pour plus d'informations, visitez wascostlucia.com.
St. Lucia, are you ready? The Kings are back. This August, come experience the excitement of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League cricket as the St. Lucia Kings light up the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. Join us on August 12th, 14th, 16th, 19th and 21st from 7 p.m. Come for the cricket, come for the entertainment, come for the music, the vibes, the food and the unforgettable atmosphere. Bring your friends, bring your family, and wear your King's colors with pride as we defend our home turf. St. Lucia Kings, one nation, one pride. Get your tickets now and be part of the action at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground.
But many of you stood by over the years and witnessed the victimization and demoralization of Tim Hector and never lifted a finger to prevent it. Were you there? Were you there when they crucified Tim Hector? Were you there? Were you there when they nailed him to the cross? Were you there? Were you there when they dragged him to the court? Were you there? Were you there when they dumped him in prison for his views? Were you there? Were you there when they burnt his printing press? Were you there? Were you there when they murdered his dear wife, Sarah? Were you there? Were you there when the ballot process was contaminated to declare him a loser? Were you there? Were you there when they denied this prophet any honor in his own country? Were you there?
St. Lucian politician, the late George Odlum, paying tribute to Tim Hector at his funeral service in November of 2002. The famous "Were You There" speech delivered by him. Fortunately, he passed away 10 months later. Play this because our question of the day, it reads, how would George Odlum respond to today's events? How would George Odlum respond to today's events? And we know that he's well known for being the great mobilizer. He would mobilize the St. Lucian public whenever the need surfaced. And we have his nephew online, Buffalo Odlum. Good afternoon to you, sir. Good afternoon to you, Buffalo.
Hey, good afternoon, Tim.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
And actually brought some good pimples there on that introduction I was not expecting.
Right.
However,
but amidst Buffalo, all what is happening in St. Lucia as we speak today, how would your uncle, George Odlum, respond to today's events?
You mean whilst we have a society who's lying down in the stricken confines implemented by the Labour Party? Tim, first and foremost, let me say that I cannot speak for George Odlum. I'm not of that ilk. I'm not of that stature, especially as an orator, but I did live part of his legacy with him. And I must say that, unlike most of the politicians today, George Odlum's journey started at Bristol as the president of the union, and he took on all the social ills at the time, even going as far as South Africa and taking on apartheid and a lot of the other ills that were going on in other African countries. So he also made his name there. George Odlum came back with the view of fashioning a different society. A society of bold intellect, a society of a people who didn't pander to political rhetoric, but they grew as a nation, which is quite contrary to what we're seeing there as the Labour Party proceeds with its largesse and that new philosophy of bon. I think with the advent of this modern society, George Odlum would be a different George Odlum. But if you allow me to go back in the society, within the society that people like George Odlum were in, and a lot of other Caribbean leaders like Eric Williams and Stephen Burnham, who had gone out and studied to come back with the view of fashioning a different society considering what was going on in the rest of the world. George Odlum would react the same way he did in the days of Sir John when he thought they were ill, as in the day of Winston Snodgrass, when they thought that that $10,000 note of whether it was of a personal nature or not, that it was wrong towards the women, it was in a bad, it was deeming a bad light where women were concerned, and he fought against that also. So I think we have to take everything in context as to the St. Lucia we have. I am the proudest person being born in St. Lucia. I am not the proudest St. Lucian because my new St. Lucia consists of intellects who remain silent, professionals who do not comment, where the comments could actually reschedule and remodule the thinking of a society. And George Odlum would not have had that. George Odlum was surrounded not only by intellect, but you see his journey came with a component that is missing now: political education and social enhancement. Our social enhancement surrounding Socialist Labour Party now is not how to teach a man to fish, but how to give him fish, especially during an election year. And the motive is to win that election. Win the election by any means necessary, which means even giving your children bad habits that may resound later in 20 years to a society that panders only to money. Tim, we're in a dangerous time. We are in a very dangerous time. Because the doctrine I'm seeing that my people are so comfortably living in now is one where everybody is for sale. Every man jack is for sale, and that is scary. That is scary. When we see sporadic protests, which I've done, and in the case of Silva and the others to support women, the first reaction will come to, we will be faced with is, whose party is that? Are you speaking against my party? Rather than I am supporting a woman who is supporting and trying to gain support and awareness of what women are going through in this society. So while the Prime Minister could waddle and revere into his two successive election wins, I don't give him the luxury of thinking that he's been in power since 2021. He's been in power since 1979, Tim. And what philosophy has he got?
1997.
1997. I have, from a neutral standpoint, tried to find out what is the key philosophy, his guided philosophy, now that he's a leader. You see, because there's a difference between being the father of a nation and being the beau-père. Because, Tim, like you and I have laid down some hard rules to my children, and in case your child, in their growing up, which does not allow them the luxury of skirting responsibilities, financial and otherwise. Tim, remember when Sir John said you could put a gun to my head, the country cannot afford it?
Yeah.
You remember that? Because Sir John took a principled standpoint. But then, let's go. And I have that one for Rick too. So John didn't have $2 billion in CIP money. Kenny Anthony didn't have the luxury of 2 point whatever billion in CIP money. Stephenson King, as he navigated through the worst, one of the worst depressions of 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2009, he didn't have $2 billion of CIP money to create the largesse that was created in that election year. Von Lewis didn't have it. But I'm saying that to my honorable Prime Minister Council. Were you being a good parent in the dispensation of your policies of this? Are you being a good parent, a prudent parent? Because, Tim, the laws you put in governing the existence of your daughter and mine, some of them were not popular at a particular time. But as my children grow older, they say, Daddy, I could see through, because politics and raising children is not too far apart. The policies remain the same, because all the tax reliefs and all these things that we got, Tim, you could be making $10, Tim. When my son or my daughter start working, you have to contribute 5 cents. You must. You will not be exonerated.
Well, Buffalo, in life, Buffalo is not how much you make, but it's how much you save and what
and
kind
how
of
much
investment.
You contribute.
Yeah.
How much you contribute. How much you contribute. But watch what is going on. We are exonerated from so many responsibilities. In a stick of a pen, Richard Frederick could have exonerated so many people in the Castries market because it was an election year. You see? But I say to my Prime Minister that there is a difference between giving people what they want and giving people what they need, which we learned from people like Sir John. But in this society now, where everything is for sale, everything. Going back in the time of George Odlum, Tim, I didn't realize that all these soldiers over the years had followed George Odlum for a penny, for not a penny. It was about the doctrine he brought. Remember that?
Yeah.
The chicken and rum, that, the slogan, forward ever, backward never, because we are going forward as a nation, not as a people to win an election. But Tim, look at what's happening now. St. Lucians are allergic to protests now. They're allergic civil society, because civil society only exists when one particular political party is in power. We do miss George Odlum. I don't know how that doctrine would have sat now when we don't read. George Odlum came, he knew having a press and having that reach was important for his doctrine to go around. So he did that. We had a society who read more, who was tightly knit, and in many demonstrations, him. So what is going on there now? What we cannibalize, you see, and be a party, a nation, because we keep people dancing whilst all this is going on, Tim. And then, I have to reflect on Sir John, because I remember when Sir John was disrespected by the then Castries Central executive to bring in Richard Frederick, and he wasn't having it. But then the pressure was enough where he said at a particular meeting, you can have him. If y'all want him, you could have him. Because I was on Sir John's side, I was the first executive member to say that Richard Frederick would not be a member of the United Workers' Party. But Sir John, then I knew, was not the Sir John of 30 years before 2006. And he said you could have him. But you know what he said? He is not going to partake in any baptism purport. Tim, what is a baptism purport?
Educate me, sir. Tell me.
A baptism purport is the baptism of a representation of a human being in the form of a doll, but it does not have life. And how many of us missed it? I don't know if Rick got it. He seemed to be a little more intelligent than I am. The baptism of a representation of a human being that has no life. And we see that this particular Labour Party, then they should apologize to the baptism purport that Kenny Anthony was wrong. But the convenience it laid in 2001, Philip J. Pierre could not resist it, because the resistance to his acquisition of leader of the opposition, the resistance to that didn't come from without, it came from within his party. So he held on to Richard Frederick's coattail, and he's still doing that. But from a principle standpoint, Tim, I don't expect the nation to be waiting. I don't expect the nation to demonstrate. There's not another George Odlum. There's a different society, and all my professional friends seem to be at ease. Tim, yes, and I have a SMC caucus that we meet who he was part of at one time. Tim, they said, boy, we need a demand gaster. We know it is how he is. We need demand gaster to win an election. I said, really? But if your younger sister came and say, cousin, uncle, or my brother, I'm dating this guy, would you approve? None of them would approve, including the Prime Minister. But it's a marriage of convenience that we are paying for. And I look at that when I made my opening statement. I was born in the best place, and I'm proud. I'm born in St. Lucia. But what constitutes a St. Lucia now, the way we are nurtured, the way we pander, the way we look at society as a price. There's a price tag on what kind of society we're developing, and the Labour Party is doing it well. I am not a proud St. Lucian. I'm a proud person born in St. Lucia. But what constitutes us now, it is very, very disturbing. And I think as George lay in his stricken confines, he would be turning around and he would be an acrobat by now doing somersaults. Because his politicking came with a doctrine. It came with something that all of us remember. And that is why he will not die. His principles, policies, and his legacy will not die. Because whilst we, as cowards, we're not in the front line, we stay in the back line and we say, where is George? But you see, where are the soldiers that George doctrinated? That we can make a difference in this society. I don't care who wins the election. But there must be a neutral civil society in this country. Our professionals have saved us. You know, Tim, I studied safety, I studied engineering, I studied marine, and I brought something back to my country. I've been fighting for more stringent laws in our marine environment. I've been doing that. Rick came back, he brought professionalism to our journalistic cadre. What we have for journalists now, Tim, every journalist who kept Alan Shastney under pressure during the last 2 elections were given jobs by the government. So when the government controls every journalist and the government controls 89% of our radio stations, we are indoctrinated by that. Just the same way our music is indoctrinated by Bam Bam Whistle. Yes, and biscuits. That is what the foreigners go back with. So if George was there, and I'm not speaking anything intellectual, but as a society, we'd have been more together. We'd have had our politicians on the straight and narrow, knowing that there is a neutral civil society that would keep them. They would keep them straight. They would keep them on the straight and narrow path. But everybody was for sale, including my professional counterpart, who I'm very disappointed in, and George would be very disappointed in them.
Okay, thank you so much, Buffalo Odlum. Appreciate the contribution. The nephew of the late George Odlum, our NewsSpin question of the day: how would George Odlum respond to today's events? You're watching and listening to the most monitored talk show in the world. Still to come, more of your calls and your WhatsApp messages, and what Mary Isaac said a few years ago.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Now is the time to head up. Join us at the Bellevue Hotel Rooftop Lounge for the Rooftop After Work Lime, happening every last Thursday from June through November. We kick things off Thursday, June 25th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Come through for sunset views, cocktails, good music, great people, and the kind of lime that makes you forget about that work email. Bring your crew, meet somebody new, and enjoy a different seasonal vibe every month. Entry is US $40 per person. Space is limited, so don't get left downstairs. Call 456-1800 to reserve your spot. The Rooftop After Work Lime at Bellevue Hotel. Your new favorite way to end the month.
Every day, the pain is still there. Back, neck, shoulder, hip, chronic arthritis, pain down your leg to your toes, or heel pain when you put your foot on the ground. You've tried many things, but nothing works. Waiting will only make it worse. At La Clinique du Corps, we find the real cause of your pain using advanced MRI scans from head to toes with no radiation for more accurate results. Our specialist doctors provide faster diagnosis and effective treatment. Less pain, better movement, better life. All insurances accepted. Call now before it gets worse. 451-6559, that's 451-6559, or WhatsApp 721-9950. WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique du Corps. Stop suffering. Start living.
We ready for the road. We ready for the road. We First National. Your next move bold. We ready for the road. We ready for the road. We First National. Your next move bold. Get ready for your next ride with the drive ahead from First National Bank. Enjoy up to 100% financing and rock bottom interest rates on new vehicle loans. Because we're not only here for you, we're driving ahead with you. For the road with First National Bank. Your one of our partner dealerships, any First National Bank branch, or firstnationalbankonline.com today. Promotion runs through November 30th. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you looking for premium quality, frozen fresh at an unbeatable price? Visit Kenty's today, your one-stop shop for wholesale and retail liquor and frozen foods. Now fully stocked with chicken wings, chicken legs, chicken necks, pigtails, turkey wings, and so much more. Visit Kenty's on Chaussee Road today or give them a call at 461-3446. Kenty's, frozen fresh, great prices, and service you can trust.
Lucilec aveti ou pour point précaution durant saison cyclone ça là. Mi un petit commission qui kaywen de ou protéger la vie ou ek propriétaire ou. Kouye Lucilec avant ou trim et bien couper pied bois qui pouet ligne électrique. Veillez pour ligne courant électrique avant ou monter l'échelle. Fait assurer l'échelle, scaffold et bout d'outils ou ka servi pas venir moins qui 10 pieds hors ligne courant électrique. Pas jamais servi appliance et ben outils qui ka servi courant électrique. Des wall côté qui mouillé et ben en la pli. Ça c'était en commission hors Lucilec.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you. Keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliothèque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road V4 at 454-6555.
Stop paying full price. With Flow, you can slash your bill in half. You heard right. Cut your mobile bill in half when you add mobile to internet. That's the most reliable Wi-Fi at home. Plus, all the data you need on the go. So don't wait. Double your connection and double your value for half the price. Add mobile to internet today. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
St. Lucia, are you ready? The Kings are back. This August, come experience the excitement of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League cricket as the St. Lucia Kings light up the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. Join us on August 12th, 14th, 16th, 19th and 21st from 7 p.m. Come for the cricket, come for the entertainment, come for the music, the vibes, the food and the unforgettable atmosphere. Bring your friends, bring your family, and wear your King's colors with pride as we defend our home turf. St. Lucia Kings, one nation, one pride. Get your tickets now and be part of the action at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground.
The very popular Catcher Day is back, and the buzz is going around like a busy bee. And it makes sense because customers are guaranteed 15% off on all Kasha machines. People have been itching to hear this news, and it's finally here. The dates, August 28th and 29th, 2026. The place is Europa Hardware in Massad. The event is Catcher Day for the fathers, men and ladies too. Everyone wants to pay less and get more. This is your time. Vacuum cleaners, pressure washers, steam cleaners, upholstery cleaners, carpet cleaners, floor scrubbers, and more. Don't say if I knew. Now you know. 452-0763 Europa.
Epic Events and Events St. Lucia presents St. Lucia Mercury Fest Weekend, August 14th to 16th. A unique crossover event linking the English and French Caribbean. Saturday, Mercury Fest at Pigeon Island Beach featuring Meryl, Fanny J, DJ MJ, and top regional DJs. Sunday, the Boca Run along St. Lucia's spectacular West Coast for a chance to win 5,000 euros. Tickets available at 4circlestickets.com, Bezook.com, The Cell, and 6 Car Rental in the Rodney Bay Marina. Follow us on social media. St. Lucia Mercury Fest weekend, supported by St. Lucia Tourism Authority.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Our final call is on the line. Rick Wayne, good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm all right, Rick. How about you?
Well, I listened to your calls today, and it reminded me of a line, I think it's by James Baldwin, where he says, an invented past can never be used. An invented past can never be used. It cracks and crumbles under the pressures of life, like clay in a season of drought. An invented past cracks and crumbles under the pressures of life, like clay in a season of drought. Tim, if you do some serious thinking, you realize why we are where we are. We love to talk about whataboutism when we're talking one-on-one. But when evil has been done by one person 10 years ago, and then it happens 10 years later, a worse evil, because usually it happens, and you start saying, what about? Well, that's your argument in what about. But there's a bigger argument. The argument of what those two evils, because they are both evils, right?
Yes, they are.
What the argument is about was, how come you didn't do anything when the first evil happened, and now you want to talk about this evil now, right? Mm-hmm. That's an argument, one-on-one argument.
Mm-hmm.
But what is impossible to argue is that, like in the matter of St. Lucia, the evil committed in St. Lucia. Who is speaking up for St. Lucia?
Hardly
because
anyone.
all you're doing is speaking up for the evil doers, the evil makers.
Mm-hmm.
You are not talking about the effect on the country by those two evil makers, one red, one yellow, let's say. So one is one-on-one. What about this and what about this and what about when someone said that? That is you talking red-yellow argument. You with me?
Yeah.
But there's no denying two people committed an evil that has an impact on the country and its history and its image. There's no whataboutism in that. There's no what about in that. There's no argument that when two people commit a horror against a country at different times, it means that the country has been attacked at different times and nothing done about it.
And
Am I clear on that?
Very clear. The whataboutism you're talking about there, therefore, it will only continue, Rick. There's no end to it.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the continuation of the whataboutism. I'm continuing about the killing of everything that is good, useful, and admirable that St. Lucia may have had. Are you following me? The
Absolutely.
image of St. Lucia, the standard set in St. Lucia, that is what is of even greater concern. You see what I'm saying? Now, Tim, I don't want to get them on stick spares in fussy sides. I don't want to do that. But, think about the people that we have set on pedestals. And usually, those people are set on pedestals by politicians, 90% of whom are shits. You hear me? The people we put up on pedestals are put up by the politicians and we accept. Am I right?
Yes, we do.
We never stop to think about who the politicians are and who they're putting up on pedestals representative of St. Lucia. Am I confusing you, Tim?
No, you're not, Rick. I'm just listening.
Oh, eh?
I'm just listening. You're not confusing at all.
So I would like them to examine the people over the years we have put on pedestals and totally ignored their history and the consequence of their history on St. Lucia and where we are right now and whether we're going to continue on that wicket. Am I speaking too cryptically?
Because it's always horses for courses.
I just want to make sure you understand Tim.
It is always about winning an election, as opposed to, Rick, when you're employing somebody, look at their reputation, look at what they're bringing in, do the fact-checking on their background and so on.
Yeah, but I'm talking about something bigger than that, Jim. I am talking about when we set somebody up on a pedestal and totally ignore the fact he's not deserving of that pedestal. And we ignore it because it's our party or whatever. We get away with it because we have a bunch of monkeys as our population. We just accept it. Somebody was saying to me yesterday, in the court of public opinion. There is no court of public opinion in St. Lucia. A long time the court of public opinion in St. Lucia died. What we have is supporters of the party, one or the other. That is not what court of public opinion is. A court of public opinion is supposed to be based on people who think critically, people who see right from wrong, people who are able to discern, people who have the best interests of the country at heart. There are things that you and I can do that people may frown on it. Frown. But we are free, and that's what freedom is about. But there are also things, when you hold a certain office, you don't have the liberty to do it. The same damn thing. Because of the impact on on your office, because on the impact of the country, because on the impact of your image overseas, where we are supposed to be looking good, which is bad already as it is, etc. I hope I'm not talking Greek. I hope I'm not talking Greek. I listened to your people talking there a while ago about who would do that if was that, and who would have done that, and who was that. And they were there. They were there. I'm not necessarily talking about George Lemon. But they were there. He was asking the question, were you there? Yeah, they were there. And that didn't stop them putting certain people on pedestals who have no right to be on those pedestals, because they have now normalized everything that is disgusting in a country. Am I clearer now?
They have had a role in what we're experiencing today.
Exactly. So now, we have some things on our plate now. Sarah Flood goes up, and Sarah Flood does a protest. And the matter is dwelling on, oh, she was booed, she was that. She had the balls and the gonads to stand up for something she believes. It's not about whether she's right, wrong, or indifferent. She has a right to stand up against what she thinks is wrong, just as she has a right to stand up for what she thinks is right. We have too many people in this country who stand up for nothing because they believe in nothing. And when you believe in nothing, you're a frog, you're a tree, you're a rock. You're not a human being with intellect and soul and everything else. You have to believe in something. You have to believe in something is right, something is wrong, and not just secretly believe in it. You have to stand up and be counted for it. So Sarah, of course I've criticized Sarah, and I shouldn't have to say that, but I am going to say it. I've disagreed with Sarah. Sarah can be as cantankerous as Rick Wynn can be. But what heroism she shows there when she stands, a woman, she stands up, a woman vulnerable to all kinds of things, including the insults, who you fuck, who you don't fuck. That's what I'm using the language because we're using it everywhere. What your husband did this, what your husband did that. As opposed to talking about what she is opposing, they're going to start discussing her underwear. That is what we do. That's what people do who have no mind, no intellect, who believe in nothing, who have no standards, who have never stood up for anything. Frogs. A nation of frogs. And if you look around, you'll see nearly all our people who stand up there, this and that, supposedly exemplars, are frogs. And one of these days, we're going to examine that and see what we have done to ourselves, and refuse to remedy. We refuse to set some standards. Stop on that for now. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much. Well, Mr. Producer, we could end up folding our tent after today's program. Just totally give up. Just say goodbye to this particular cause, this crusade that NewsSpin has embarked upon from the year 2002. 24 years now. And yet still, we're taken for granted. Host is being ridiculed and pappy showed, but I don't care about this. But we are at this critical juncture in the life of our St. Lucia when we have to get into some kind of introspection. And the veggling that is taking place in our country right now, let us, remove ourselves from this. Let us look at St. Lucia from a different prism, from a different perspective. Let us ascertain whether those who are in authority right now are doing their utmost, and they are succeeding at using our own resources to distract us. With the carnival, with the largesse, with giving here and giving over there, with the heavy taxation that we are being subjected to, with the misuse of our passports generating billions of dollars. And what do we have to show for it? With so many things going awry in this country, and the head of the government, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, successfully hoodwinking us, missing in action. There's something that was the norm in St. Lucia. Something uncomfortable happens in our St. Lucian society, and 9 times out of 10, the Prime Minister of the day would address the nation. He does not glibly and flippantly address the nation. That's what made it something significant, something grand you look forward to an address to the nation. If it gives to the public sector workers what is theirs, back pay, increase in salary, etc., that does not warrant an address to the nation. And this Prime Minister has done this. But when it's critical, when it's important, this situation involving the SSDF, which is now known on social media as the Social Sex Development Foundation, doesn't warrant an explanation by the CEO of SSDF, by the line minister. We understand that the Prime Minister is responsible for SSDF. He is the finance minister. He is the Prime Minister of this country, and he does not address the issue, does not have an address to the nation, but he will be addressing you very soon. When? Next Thursday, he'll be addressing you on the market steps. That's what you deserve. That is what you are being subjected to, because that is what you are tolerating. And in the meantime, it's well documented. So many indigent, so many poor people in this country, so many people are suffering. Our good friend Ismail over in the south of the island, who has an adult son who is disabled and has been seeking assistance from the authorities. The same SSDF would have given him a pittance, a little 200, a little 300. But who are the people who are getting 1,008? And this is all over social media. And I must tell you, thank God for social media right now. People are using social media for all kind of negative things, to méprise people, to laugh at people, to bring them down. But on this particular occasion, unfortunately, mainstream media, apart from NewsSpin, has been useless to you, the people of St. Lucia, not addressing the critical issues. Can you imagine now without social media to educate you, to provide you in real time with information and evidence. And of course, you have to be very discerning to make sense out of nonsense on social media. And for you now to be what? Perspicacious? To be aware of what's happening in your country? I mean, we don't have... remember the era of the Star newspaper with all those articles by so many people, your Pat Brown and Irving Reed and Rick Wayne and a number of other people. Might not agree with what was written then, but at least something piqued your interest. There's debate taking place. You had the Crusader with its quick quack and a number of veteran journalists and broadcasters not being afraid to address the issues. And that brought about 1997 and the 16-1 that the St. Lucia Labour Party enjoyed and benefited from. The Enlightenment. That's what brought Kenny Anthony into office with 16-1. And a lot of people don't like me when I say that. They don't agree with me. But Kenny Anthony also played his part in creating the environment where people are given avenues to have those discussions and those debates. So many press conferences that he hosted, and the reporters and journalists felt free to ask questions of their prime minister. And you were well served by a vibrant press. You did not appreciate it at the time. You did not appreciate the questions that were being posed to that same Kenny Anthony by Rick Wayne and Guy Ellis and Pete Nainval and Ernie Sion and others. You did not appreciate it. But now there's a vacuum. You are suffering because there's a dearth of media people, journalists, reporters who are fearless, indomitable, asking the appropriate questions. Now you have a deputy prime minister in Dr. Ernest Hilaire saying to reporters that they are not asking the questions. People, they are very often criticized, quote unquote, for not asking the appropriate questions. And he's saying to the reporters, you only ask the questions that the people are interested in. And if the people are not interested in a particular subject, he's lecturing the reporters and journalists, you can ask those questions. I thought the job of a journalist and a reporter was to address those critical issues that the citizenry were not mindful of. That's part of the education process that is lacking. Because the ordinary St. Lucian would just be interested in things that are salacious, the Roro and the Mepui and so on. But because of his background, his experience, his training, he reads a lot. A journalist and a reporter would ask the appropriate questions on behalf of the benighted. Those people are not so much au fait with what is expected, what should happen in our St. Lucian society. So you are now left to fend for yourself. And those in authority are reveling in that kind of ignorance that is permeating throughout the St. Lucian society. And the one or two people who are addressing those issues, there's a lot of name calling that is taking place. How can you celebrate an administration that is hell-bent on keeping you in the dark? The government has decided to lease your port, our port, for 30 years. And the nitty-gritty of that arrangement, that deal, you know absolutely nothing about it. And you are okay with it, with an option to renew that lease for another 10 years. Juxtapose that to what recently happened in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A press conference. Questions being asked by reporters on behalf of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines have a stake in that deal. Our vendors, some sent home, adjustments are being made to accommodate them. Promise was made by Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister who cares, the best Prime Minister ever, that he would be providing them with some level of financial support. Up until last week, the poor vendors had not received that level of support. I could go on and on and on. It's almost 20 minutes after 2. There's a lot we'll have to discuss. Come next week. Have yourself a great weekend. Let me turn my attention now to our NewsSpin news of the day. It reads, a Gen Z protest that began a month ago under the unlikely uniting banner of cockroaches has blossomed into one of its biggest political crises in India. A Gen Z protest that began a month ago under the unlikely uniting banner of cockroaches has blossomed into one of the biggest political crises in India. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the most monitored talk show in the world. Don't forget, please, to like the video, share, subscribe to the NewsSpin YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin YouTube channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye, and see you next time.